Hey y'all, it's Just Melodies coming to you with the top 10 rap artists of the decade. So that means from 2010 to 2019, who dominated, okay? And so this has nothing to do with the charts. This has nothing to do with awards and accolades and Grammys or anything of that. Has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the artistry and consistency. And also, this is my own opinion, okay? So it is debatable. It is objective. You can try to debate it, but I said what I said. Coming in at the number 10 spot, we have Nicki Minaj, okay? I know Nicki has, sparked a lot of controversy as of late, you know what I mean? But that does not take away from the fact that she is a pioneer of this rap game. She's had great music. She's had great features this decade. I mean, we cannot forget the iconic Monster verse. It's like, really, we didn't even need Ye and Jay-Z on the record. All we needed was Nicki. She owned the verse. She ate that verse. Monster should be Nicki's song. I mean, she was a trendsetter. She came in as the style queen. And then let me tell you how she fooled everybody just to cross over. The first album was real pop, really pop. Like, actually her first album is my least favorite album, but we'll get into that. Like, it was super pop. Why? To get the crossover appeal. And then she ended up eventually coming back to the true essence of rap. And so she definitely manipulated the game. I mean, we didn't know if we were gonna get Nicki. We didn't know if we were gonna get Roman. We didn't know if we were gonna get the British version of Nicki. It's like she had all of these different characters in her music, which made the music so much fun because it was like this anticipation of who is she gonna be in this song. And so really, like, the acting and the art of acting really played a huge factor in her music. And so Nicki Minaj is definitely one of the GOATs, and she definitely represented for women in this rap game, for sure. 2010, we had Pink Friday, Roman Reloaded 3-Up in 2012, Pink Print in 2014, and Queen album in 2018. If we stack rank Nicki's top 3 albums of the decade, it would be number 1, Pink Print, number 2, Queen, and number 3 would be Pink Friday. All right, so coming in at number 9, okay, would be Future. Y'all, from 2010 to 2019, Future released at least 25 projects, whether that would be solo projects or collaboration albums. 25 projects. I'm not even going to list them out all on here. This would also include mixtapes and albums, okay? When I tell you that that is like overload of content, like I couldn't even keep up. Talk about consistency. I mean, that's at least like 2 albums a year. Like, I mean, did this man ever sleep? I'm sure Future is like one of those artists that got like thousands of songs in the vault. Now, although Future has given us a lot, and I do mean a lot of music this decade, towards the end of the decade, the quality was a little compromised. Top 3 albums for Future this decade would be number 1, Dirty Sprite 2, number 2, Purple Rain, and number 3, his self-entitled album, Future. Coming in number 8, we have Kanye, okay? So Kanye released 7 projects during this decade. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010, Watch the Throne in 2011, Yeezus in 2013, Life of Pablo in 2016, Ye in 2018, Kids See Ghosts with Kid Cudi in 2018, and finally Jesus is King in 2019. I know you're wondering, okay, why did Ye rank so low? Okay, why is he number 8? And Ye is number 8 because although he is a great rapper, like, this decade, I mean, it just didn't compare to, and I know we keep saying this, but it just didn't compare to Kanye's earlier, catalog. And I would say this decade he had a couple misses. For example, Yeezus. He could have kept that. The collab album with Kid Cudi, Kids See Ghosts, he could have kept that too. And the album Ye was okay. It didn't wow me. So pretty much to sum it up, I would say Kanye did not just blow my mind with the music this decade. Kanye's top 3 albums of the decade. Number 1 coming in Life of Pablo. Number 2 coming in My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And number 3 would be Jesus is King. Coming in at number 7, we have Big Sean. Yo, so quick story. Okay, so Big Sean came to Mizzou. I can't remember what year this was, but I called myself not going because I had heard from someone that he's not a great performer live. Okay, fast forward to the day of the concert. Afterward, everybody was like ecstatic because the concert was so amazing. I'm seeing videos on Twitter and I was so jealous. And that is like one of the most regrettable decisions I have in college, not going to the Big Sean concert. I mean, those tickets were like $25. I heard he put on a show. To this day, I regret that. Big Sean released 7 projects this decade. 2011, he released Finally Famous. 2012, Detroit. Hall of Fame in 2013. Dark Sky Paradise in 2015. I Decided in 2017. Double or Nothing in 2017. And then I almost forgot his collab album with Jhené Aiko that he released 2088 in 2016. I don't F with you. Hey, I got a million trillion things that I'd rather do. What? Than to be effing with you. You look. Top 3 albums of the decade for Big Sean. Coming in number 1, that Detroit mixtape. That was fire. Number 2, I Decided. Number 3, Dark Sky Paradise. Coming in at number 6, we have Tyler, the Creator. Let me tell you about Tyler, okay? Back in either 2010 or 2011, right? He released the Yonkers video. So it was a black and white video, okay? I'm getting through the song and I'm like, yo, this dude is like really dark and really weird. And he's kind of scaring me. And I thought it was sweet until we got to the end of the video. My man's ate a roach, like chewed a roach, and not one of those regular size roaches. I'm talking about the roach was like this big, like one of them southern roaches, okay? Them big old roaches that look like cicadas. My man's ate it. But then wait, there's more. He proceeded to hang himself. It was in that moment that I was terrified of Tyler, the Creator, and I made a vow to myself that I would never listen to any of his other music because he's evil. Okay? I broke my promise. I broke my promise and I did listen to his other music. I just never listened to that song again, and I never watched that video ever again. And that was back in 2011. Also, the brother is Nigerian, okay? Unfortunately, he does not claim that side because his dad, who is Nigerian, was not in his life. And so he doesn't claim that side. He's not familiar with that side. And that's really unfortunate because, you know, that's another reason why I support. Yo, Tyler used to be a wild boy. I mean, he used to talk so crazy, and it kind of reminded me of like Eminem. Like Eminem would say the wildest, outrageous things in his songs, and Tyler was the same way. But I will say that over the years, Tyler has definitely toned down, calmed down, and he's not as dark anymore. So pretty much he's matured, and his sound has matured, his lyrics has matured, and you know, he's just gotten older. Tyler released 5 albums this decade. He released Goblin in 2011, Wolf in 2013, Cherry Bomb in 2015, Flower Boy in 2017, and Igor, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong as well, in 2019. Tyler, the Creator's top 3 albums of the decade. Number 1 coming in as Flower Boy, number 2 Cherry Bomb, and number 3 Wolf. Coming in at number 5, we got Wale, another Nigerian king. So Wale also came to Mizzou in 2010. I believe it was 2010. And I did not miss this concert, okay? And this was like back in the day Wale. I mean, this was the Wale where his locks was just touching his neck, child. I mean, so this was, I mean, y'all, it was 9 years ago. Like, I cannot believe, like, college was that long ago. Wale released 6 albums in the decade. In 2010, he released More About Nothing. Now, let me tell you about Manipulation 2. Okay, this one, it was a poem. If he don't treat you like Wale said in Manipulation 2, that man don't love you. And he belonged to the streets. You let him go. I don't know about the other colleges, but I know at Mizzou, like, no hands. When this came on, I don't care what you were doing at the time. I don't care where you were. There would be a loud echo of, "Hey, girl, the way you moving's got me in a trance. Girl, drop it to the floor. I love the way your booty go." She said, "Look, ma, no hands." She said, "Look, ma, no hands." I mean, this, to this day, this is my song. And it just brings back so many memories from freshman year in college. Ambition in 2011, The Gifted in 2013, Summer on Sunset in 2016, Shine in 2017, and then finally, Wow, That's Crazy in 2019. Top 3 albums for Wale this decade would be number 1, Ambition, number 2, More About Nothing, and number 3, Wow, That's Crazy. Coming in at number 4, we got the GOAT, okay, Jay-Z Jigga himself. Now, I already told y'all, this is my favorite rapper of all time. Name me a rapper that has remained at the top, at the tippity top of the game for 20 plus years. The man is 50 years old and still remains relevant to this day. And not just with the business side of things, like Jay-Z dominates the rap game. And he only released 4 albums this decade, and one of them being a collaboration album with Beyonce. So really 3 solo albums. Watch the Throne released in 2011, Magna Carta Holy Grail released in 2013. Where is the extended version of Beaches Better? Like, I'm still bothered about that. Like, the song was so short and it was one of the best songs of the album. We want it to be finished. Where's the finished version? We don't want the interlude version. 444 released in 2017. Now y'all, 444 was extremely too short. I remember like getting to the last song and I'm like, wait, that's it? It's ending? Like, we needed at least 30 more minutes on that album. The album was 10 songs, 36 minutes. It was far too short. Like, the album was amazing. And Everything Is Love released in 2018. All right, so Watch the Throne. Y'all, let's have a quick little conversation about this dual album with Jay-Z and Kanye. Y'all, Watch the Throne is one of the most overrated albums of this decade. The album was okay, but it shouldn't be held in the regard that y'all hold it to. It's not that great, y'all. Like, I actually struggle getting through this album. I struggled back then in 2011, and I struggle now. And listen, all of these albums that I've ranked, like, I literally took a listen to every single album this week, okay? And even still, I cannot, like, I don't really like Watch the Throne. Y'all, there are better dual albums. And we're going to talk about that and we're going to get to that. But there is a dual album that is better than Watch the Throne that released in this decade. Jay-Z's top 3 albums of this decade, coming in number 1, 444, coming in number 2, Magna Carta Holy Grail, coming in number 3, Everything Is Love. All right, so coming in number 3, the third best rapper of the decade is Drizzy Drake. Y'all wanna know a secret? When I first created this list, I had Drake as the number 1 artist of the decade, but as I started to, do more research and I started to re-listen to albums, that's when he had to be bumped to number 3. Drake released 8 projects this decade, and he's one of those artists where his entire career is actually defined by this specific decade. Thank Me Later came out in 2010. Take Care came out in 2012. Nothing Was the Same in 2013. If you're reading this, it's too late in 2015. What a Time to Be Alive, also in 2015. What a Time to Be Alive with Future and Drake. I thoroughly enjoyed, okay? And this is the dual album that I said was better than Watch the Throne, okay? That's just my opinion, okay? I know y'all are probably looking at me crazy, but What a Time to Be Alive is better than Watch the Throne. I'm just saying, like, when I go back and I listen to albums, I listen to What a Time to Be Alive very often. So that's how I would rank it. In Views in 2016, More Life in 2017, and then finally Scorpion in 2018. Y'all, Drake had a hell of a decade. I mean, there's the rap feuds with people like Meek Mill and, the diss songs, which that one he won. The one he lost with Pusha T, the whole revealing of children. I mean, the Kiki Do You Love Me dance. I mean, he put the City Girls on. Draken in the car will literally have you crying and in your feelings in the car. Like, Draken is a verb. It's a verb and it's dangerous, okay, if you're not careful. I mean, Drake will have you calling your exes. Drake will have you thinking about your exes, okay? And then also, let me tell you how bold Drake is. Drake name drops women in his music. It's mind-boggling to me how we can literally take a name from his song, put it in the Google searches, and Lil Mama gonna come up. It's wild to me. So I would never want to date Drake because I would never want to be the subject matter of a song. I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I respect Drake as an artist, is that, his music is storytelling. It's literally his diary, and he's so relatable. And he can articulate the things that we go through song. And I mean, it's very, very few that are like that. Very few. Top 3 albums for Drake in the entire decade. Number 1 will be More Life. Number 2 will be Nothing Was the Same. And number 3 will be Views. Coming in at the number 2 spot. Y'all, we are almost at the end, okay? Coming at the number 2 spot, J. Cole. J. Cole is another rapper that I was able to see at Mizzou. I want to say he came the same year as Wale, or maybe that next year, but I think it all fell within 2010 or 2011. And this was when J. Cole had the clean cut fade, y'all, which was ages ago. J. Cole released 6 albums this decade. Friday Night Lights he released in 2010. So y'all, Friday Night Lights. I played this mixtape every single day, multiple times a day, between the years of 2010 and 2014. Those were the years that I was in college, and I felt like what he was talking about was so relatable. He talked about his college journey heavy in that mixtape. Cold World, The Sideline Story in 2011, Born Center in 2013, Forest Hill Drive in 2014, For Your Eyes Only in 2016. For Your Eyes Only was a super solid project. That project right there would be a 10 out of 10. And KOD in 2018. J. Cole's top 3 albums of the decade. Number 1, For Your Eyes Only. Number 2, Friday Night Lights. Number 3, Forest Hill Drive. All right, y'all. So here we are. The number 1 rapper of the decade. The rapper of the decade is going to be none other than Kendrick Lamar K. Dot himself. Kendrick Lamar released 7 projects this decade, and he's another artist just like Drake, just like J. Cole as well. His entire career fell within this decade, 2010 to 2019. Y'all, Kendrick is the number 1 rapper of the decade for various reasons. I mean, 1, he was consistent and he was consistently good with his content. Kendrick Lamar hasn't given me a bad album yet. And one thing about a lot of artists in general, not just rappers, but a lot of artists in general, they kind of go down as, the first album is their best album by a landslide. And I will say for Kendrick, I mean, it's the complete opposite. Like, the first album was good, the second album was good, the third album was good. And another thing, I mean, not only is he giving us great lyrical content, but Kendrick's production. I mean, the production and the albums are just crazy, and they go hand in hand. And I love how the production tells a story along with the lyrics and everything. It just coincides and it just makes sense. Also, Kendrick is always talking about things that matter, and he's just so fearless with his beliefs. You know what I mean? He's very aware of what's going on. He's definitely, a huge advocate for, what's going on in the Black community and, the rights of, Black people in America. And he's definitely one of those people that is a disruptor. I mean, this man goes on award shows, with chains on. And kind of depicting the slavery of the prison system within America. I mean, everything has such a strong message. And the Negro spiritual of the decade, all right, those are the reasons for me why Kendrick Lamar is the artist of the decade. Overly Dedicated released in 2010. Section 80 released in 2011, Good Kid, Mad City released in 2013, To Pimp a Butterfly released in 2015, the Untitled Unmastered album released in 2016, Damn released in 2017, and then Black Panther released in 2018. That's another thing. Kendrick Lamar was a part of one of the biggest and most important Black films of the decade. All right, so Kendrick Lamar's top 3 albums of the entire decade. Number 1, To Pimp a Butterfly. Number 2, Good Kid, Mad City. Number 3, Damn. So y'all, that wraps up the top 10 rappers of the decade. You all let me know what you think. Okay, do you completely agree with my ranking of each artist? Is there someone else that you would put in the top 10? You all let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, make sure you click up that thumbs up sign. Make sure you share this to all your social media platforms. And most importantly, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Thanks for watching, y'all, and Happy New Year, Just Melodies.